Why? Because I'm talking to you?
Pretty much.
Yeah, we'll see. We're moving in that direction. That's a good thing. So be able to go out there and practice again today, and then we'll see how it goes.
You say practice we do more than you have been doing?
I think every week we're gaining some ground, and doing more, and that's the idea. And obviously, to what extent as we work together is really coach's discretion and how we're feeling.
Josh, have you had like an X-ray or something recently that's led them to believe you might be able to play Sunday?
What would or something be?
Another test?
I'm just kidding. I just was X-ray
Okay,
or
just an
something.
X-ray.
Yeah, I've had X-rays recently. Yeah, that's part of the process when you're in the healing process and examining things. You have X-rays and somethings. So I've had all those.
So is it good news?
Well, I mean, I think obviously the doctors and everybody wouldn't allow me to be out there if we weren't going in the right direction. So it's safe to say we're progressing and moving in the right direction. That's a good thing.
Josh, there's that.
In previous weeks, by this point in the week, Hugh kind of has told us, Josh not, cleared to practice, not cleared to play yet.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still have to wait to get that clearance as the week goes on, or do you know anything more yet about it?
Well, I mean, I think obviously every day when you're coming off an injury, every day at practice is always you're always checking back in and making sure things are holding up the way you want them to. So that's the mindset. But I'm excited about getting a little bit more, getting to do a little bit more in practice and all that. That's it's a good step in the right direction.
Are you practicing in the team period?
Yeah, I mean that's the plan. That's what I mean. Step in the right direction is do a little bit more of that, and then like I said, as we go along and we come together on it, see how we feel and see how coach feels about it, and we'll move forward.
Josh, in the past when we've been out there and you've been out there, it looks like you're still a little impeded by your injury. Are you over that yet?
Well, I mean, I think obviously whenever you're dealing with when you're coming off of something, there's going to be, just because you haven't been doing the normal movements that you would, there's going to be just some, just getting back into the groove, and so there's going to be some impeding, but I think it's as it goes and as the weeks have gone by, it feels better and better. So hopefully as we get out there today, like I said, you learn something every day when you're coming off injury, just where you're at, and so we'll learn more today.
We see that in practice, the portion that we're at least allowed to see, there's that one drill where you're rapid firing to the left and then to the right, and back and forth, real fast. And it seems like that would place quite the strain on you. How have you reacted, to that? And is that almost the barometer that tells you that you are in fact getting better because you're able to do that?
Well, yeah, I think obviously when we're doing stuff like that, if you can't do that, because it's obviously those are drills on air, and so if you can't hold up through that, then you're not moving in the right direction. But those things they've been good drills. They felt good, doing those drills and coming out of those drills. So hopefully that's a good sign.
Just so we got it right, has a decision been made, or is it that you go out practice all week and see where you are at the end of the week?
Well, what kind of decision? Oh, you're talking about like if the Indians are going to win tonight or something like that. That decision's been made. Like I said, as we move along through the week, Coach will make his decision, on what he sees best for the team, and my job is to go out and do everything I can in practice to get myself ready. And if it moves in that direction, then like I said, that'll be Coach's decision. But right now it's just going out and putting good reps together in practice where it feels good.
Coming off of a concussion, the way that you did, is it hard to move through that protocol? I mean, there's a lot of things you have to go through. Is it hard to get cleared in 1 week out of that protocol?
Well, I think the steps that they have in place do make it pretty strenuous to get cleared in 1 week, just because of of the nature of dealing with the brain, and I dealt with it last year for the first time, and just talking about the safety that they are applying to the game by putting those steps in place and those checks in place. And when you're in it in the moment as a player, it's frustrating. But I think the long-term health of the guys is a good thing. And so everybody's different, and that's really the main thing is that I think we've seen guys come back in a week, and so it's just really those steps are in place, and you pass those steps, and you move towards being cleared. So it's really more on the individual and where that person's at.
Josh, when we talked to you last, it seemed like you were optimistic about getting back to it. Were you surprised you hadn't been cleared to play the last couple of weeks, even though you've been practicing?
No, I trust the doctors, but that's why we have them. That's the good thing. Similar to concussions, you have doctors that are there in place for a reason because it's a checks and balance of it all. I think ultimately players want to play. When you want to be on the field and you want to be out there playing, and so I think guys, if we didn't have doctors, guys would go out there and play through a lot worse stuff, and affect the long-term health of the league. And I think that's the advancements that we've seen in the last 20 years is that when you have doctors in place and people helping you make the right decision, it's good for the long-term health of the player. So, a lot of guys want to play, but it's always up to the doctors on whether or not it's the right thing at that time. And so we trust those guys that are put in place and follow their lead.
Josh, when you play this season, you guys put up 20 points in a quarter and the injury happened. But how much of that enters into your mind in terms of wanting to get back and thinking you can help this team get over the hump and get a first win?
Yeah, I think what we said before. It's all hands on deck with everybody. We need everybody that can play and can be available to go out there and play their best. And like I said, it's no different, for myself. And so you do everything you can to help, until you're available. And then when you're available, if your number's called, you go out there and help that way. So obviously, for me personally, that's my last bit of action. And it certainly lingers because there was, a ton of good early in that game, but didn't finish the way we wanted it to. And so we do need to take another step and get over that hump. And so whether it's, me on the field helping us get over that hump or me on the sideline helping, whoever's out there get over that hump, that's the key is just let's just come together and try to find a way to get this done.
Josh, last time we saw you playing versus the Jets, you were helicoptering near the end zone.
Yeah.
And first of all, so how much would you like to kind of finish off what you started in that game, and also this whole notion of protecting yourself?
How much would I like to land the helicopter? Yeah, exactly, in the end zone with the ball. That would be great. It's for us, it's where we are in the season. It's the next game, and it's really the mentality that you always want to take. Is this the next one's the most important one? And I always say, would it feel different around us if we were 7-0? Absolutely, especially in this city right now. But the plain fact would be that we would come in and prepare and plan on winning this game. We wouldn't go, well, we're 7-0, so let's lose this one. We would plan on winning this game, and so that's the same thing, and that's a credit to our leadership. Not only the veterans in this locker room, but where Coach Jackson's pointing us is just the mindset. It's different than anything I've been around for a team who hasn't found success in the win-loss column to keep coming to work the way we do, and so that's our mindset. And so it's the Jets, and we could have had a great start last year that didn't quite go, but at least we have DeMario here now, but it's the next game for us. That's the main thing. It's the next game, and so we've got to come to work with an intense focus and go out there and do everything we can to win this game.
This may follow suit with what you're just saying, but the record is what it is.
Yeah.
People are looking at the schedule saying, here's the game they can win. Do you guys look at that at all?
No, because that's what I mean. You don't never sit in, before the season. And I know it's easy because I'm a fan of other sports. It's human nature to sit and look at a schedule and go, oh, maybe that one, that one's going to be tough. But when you're in it and you're in the locker room the next game is the game you're focused on, and that's the one you're planning on winning. And we talk about that, expecting to win, and so that's part of the culture that Coach Jackson is building, and that's what we're trying to create. And there's a lot of adversity right now, with that because we haven't won. But I think it's special when you see a group of guys come to work and continue that mentality when it hasn't happened. And we're going to stay together. And like I said, the veteran leadership in this locker room, you talk about Hawk and Joe Thomas and Greg and Tremont Williams and all these guys, pulling guys along and really showing guys what it means to be pros and how to play week to week. And that's the idea. And so this is the next game. This is the one we're focused on. And we want to get that feeling because hopefully we get that feeling, we know that it'll lead to more. And so right now we're focused on the Jets, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Hey, Josh, you talked a lot Monday about quarterbacks that need to protect themselves better just because of the rash of injuries. How much is he stressing that to you guys? And then, what would have been your advice for Cody on the play that he got hurt?
Yeah, it's hard because, he was just trying to make a play, and he did make a play. Gary makes a great catch, and we advance the ball there further, and we end up finishing the drive with a score. And so it's hard because you're competitive. We talked about this last year in the Jet game. You talk about those things, but the reality is, the old saying, your best ability is your availability, and so he's right. You got to keep yourself healthy. You got to be smart with the football, both in the pocket and then when you're outside the pocket. And so if there's moments where you can avoid unnecessary hits, you got to do that. You got to throw the ball away, slide, all those things. And so, those points are always stressed, but I think as a quarterback group, we got to continue to internalize that and maybe see it take place more on the field. Cody's situation last week in that game is tough because it's unique. Because like I said, he was climbing the pocket and trying to make a play, and it was, he got hit, but it was also the way his head hit the turf. And sometimes those things you can't avoid. But certainly that'll be something that we're always going to focus on is trying to protect ourselves.
You seem like a guy, though, that will hold the ball to the last millisecond to make a throw.
It just depends on what's necessary to advance the football. But again, those are fine lines, and it's it's kind of do we take a step back to take two forward and stay on the field, and so those are decisions made in quick moments and in real time in split-second decisions, and so those are hard decisions to make. But as we train the quarterback and as they coach us, we're in tune to getting better at making those decisions and getting the ball out quicker and when to say uncle and move on.